we saw how dominant the attack was in the last matchup, with the operator bans, I feel, being quite a big proponent of that, as well as just the aggressive playstyle of those teams. So be interesting to see if we do see another Wamai ban with Thatcher being left up on the board, although I don't think that might be the case this time.
Well, we will leave it open for the teams to decide that. For us, the first ban coming in by LALOOSANCE is going to be a Thatcher, so we kind of got that question answered right away. Thatcher will be not available for both of those teams. Next ban will come up by Dead Inside any second. And yeah, I definitely think Thatcher being banned already is an interesting factor because it influences the way walls are being held or even not held. Next ban coming in will be Capital. Nothing we've seen so far today, but definitely an interesting ban, especially, for example, to mention blue and how you play in blue, right? A Capital could be a massive problem when you want to play in your safe little corner there behind your shield, having some ADS stack there as well, but a Capital could be a massive deal breaker, so banning that out definitely makes sense. Next ban coming in from Dead Inside as well is going to be Wamai, their first defensive ban. So apparently they don't want us to cast a Wamai today. I mean, it's the fourth map where we are not going to see Wamai. I mean, we all know how strong he can be. Also, of course, the shield in his pocket, definitely a big factor. Last but not least, Mira off the board. Mira has seen some light already today, but not for the moment again.
Yeah. Quite interesting, though, that we saw Dead Inside get rid of the Capital and the Wamai. Obviously, Wamai being the only operator in the game that can cancel out the Capital. So it's, you know, you're going to ban out the Wamai anyway. I guess it kind of makes sense through one line of thinking. But for the most part, some fairly standard bans, getting rid of the Mirror and the Thatcher. Just very, very basic for the time being. And, well, we're going to start off in the basement. LALOOSANCE defending did leave the Kaid on the board after banning out the Thatcher, which could pose a little bit of a thorn in the side for the attackers if they don't properly deal with it using that Maverick.
Especially basement, of course, a bomb side way, we do see quite a different variety of approaches. Definitely, I think is going to be an interesting startup to seeing how this map is played. As I mentioned earlier, LALOOSANCE is going to start on defense, which means that instead, of course, it's going to start on attack. For the moment, if we take a look on the operators, we don't have anything crazy. Remember, just one mention here because we didn't see it played today overall is a Cade. So that definitely, of course, makes a lot of sense. On the other side, on the attacker team, nothing crazy there going on as well. We have Johnny on Ace, so Ace will be definitely having an influence on that round as well. And also Sarah, of course, on Maverick, and I think Maverick especially, of course, being really handy to deal with the Cade.
Quite interesting that we're seeing the smoke open up some rotation holes into attic as well as the meeting hatch. It implies that there's going to be quite a heavy roam, or at least the potential for a late rotation. That was something that we didn't really see in the last game at all. The teams generally tend to just hunker down on the site with a little bit of extension into areas like Blue and Freezer, but nothing too crazy. This is being set up for quite potentially a lot of movement going on outside of the site itself.
Of course, a little bit of utility stacked in blue is never a problem. ADS is there, of course, assist you if you want to stay there for as long as possible. Just looking at that smoke, of course, there, that is what you usually see. Mastermod has to be really aware because there's a player close to him and he does not seem to be aware of that for the very moment, because what we do see here from Dead Inside is actually quite a direct approach. Joining, yes, but not too far. They're rather going to face check, which also once again is an indicator for aggression, as you mentioned earlier. So late reinforcement from Mastermod coming down. The drone should give it away, but I think no push will follow right after, just because of the time right now. 1 minute 45 seconds left, and so far the attackers managed to get big tower control and yeah, basically work their way in a slow way through the map. But slow does never mean bad, because as we can see as well, Sar and Johnny are able to open hatches. At the same time, a mission opens the match up with a shot on Slaz. That is smoke out, and that is a massive shot, because smoke is definitely you want to have in place later on.
Yeah. Maverick making good use of that blowtorch to open up the hatches, already getting the electrical hatch, and is now going to go for freezer, meaning that Dead Inside should have quite a lot of opportunities and different lines to attack a mission. Very aware of a player potentially hopping up onto the boost, and some modern art being done on the hatch right there. You know, you don't quite understand it, but hey, I guess it works.
Shock loaded. Missed me?
And therefore the hatch is open. The pressure on the defenders does increase much more, but on the other side the line of sights have been prepared. As we can see, Majestic been really tucked into the corner. Mowgli could potentially peek into Freezer very soon as well. I hope the defenders are aware of Sophia coming down Laundry, coming down main stairs. At the same time, Sar is able to shoot down Mowgli, so one defender even less on the board. Grenade perfectly landing on Mastermord's head, taking him out as well. This could be a flawless round, but Majestic says no. Refrag is there right after. MFC finds one, but it's refragged right in the act after. The first round goes into the hands of Dead Inside.
And that was just a cleanup job. There was no real fight back from LALOOSANCE until right at the very end, where Majestic, he just stayed hidden and was able to get a couple kills for himself, or got one kill for himself, and I think the Goyo got one kill elsewhere. But it was just all Dead Inside from start to finish. They got the hatches open with no contestation. Ammunition getting that first kill to just open up that entire freezer access, no denial of the main stairs. It was just all Dead Inside there. And I mean, LALOOSANCE, they're going to need to put up a bit of a stiffer defense to be able to hold on to it.
I mean, Dead Inside really keeping up to their name. As soon as they hit the bomb spot, everything was dead inside. Sorry for that little dad joke here. That's going to be it for today. But of course, winning the first attack on Oregon is definitely already a big win. It gives you a big boost also for the rest of the match. Basement once again is going to be the bomb side of pick of favor for LALOOSANCE. And I really hope we are pronouncing the names right. My French is not really good, and by not really good, I mean not existent at all.
Well, unless I wake up tomorrow morning with a bunch of angry DMs from French people telling me how to pronounce it, I'm going to assume that we're doing a good job.
Perfect.
Mowgli's setting up those ADSs really close to those freezer stairs. Generally, you'd see them get positioned much further back because it's very easy to lose the control of that front bit of freezer. Someone can just, you know, challenge at the top of the stairs, push them down very early on, and those ADSs can be shot out in relative safety. Positioning them further back to protect the player who might be positioned in the small hallway or close to the hatch is a much safer thing to do, and is going to be, I think in my opinion, better at burning utility even if you lose that initial fight on the freezer stairs. So it's a lot. 2 ADSs is a lot of utility that doesn't need to be used, but Mastermort doesn't land the shots. Nico actually able to get the air jab down. A very awkward engagement going on there, but no one dies just yet. That MP5 a little too weak to finish the job.
But that little air jab gone is definitely still a factor, because if you can get rid of that, you can basically push up whenever needed, and that could be a massive threat factor in the backside of Dead Inside, so they do need to be careful of that. I do like the double peek here coming up, so eventually if somebody peeks along them, into them, they are going to be able to shoot back. Push comes in a mission with Peeker's advantage. He doesn't care if there's a shotgun waiting for him. He lands the shot and shuts down Slaz. Perfect shot there, and that is freezer control without much effort in their hands.
Yeah, fully aware that the smoke would back up when those shots from Zofia were coming down, because he doesn't want to overexpose himself, maybe has a hand showing and then, you know, get downed or finished off that way. He's going to back up, and when you're backing up, you're not as reactive to the shots that may be coming in, and our mission timing that beautifully to get that kill. And now, yet again, that's both of those ADSs gone, and freezer control firmly in the hands of Dead Inside.
We're speaking, the defenders were getting control a little bit back of freezer. Majestic at the same time shuts down a mission, so Ash will no longer be a massive factor in that round. But like I said, freezer control is, you know, more or less a deal right now. Crossfire coming in from MFZ. Not landing a shot just yet, but the pressure is definitely there. As we can see, the attackers are really aware of that and are also afraid of that. Holes are being extended just so the push can be there. Skitty with a beautiful shot onto Mowgli. Takes him out without further problems, without any problem actually. Nico is actually able to help out there as well. Johnny and Skitty at the same time find a frag for both each other as well. It's only up to Master Mode, and Master Mode has no more chance as Skitty just flicks onto his head once again. And I think that was 3 for him.
Yeah. I think Skitty either got 2 or 3 in that round. Mazdamort, I mean, he should have been able to secure that kill on the back tower stairs, but it's not going to be the case. It does appear that Mowgli, I think, had an audio bug, so we aren't going to be having a rehost. Just getting confirmation coming on in that Skitty did get a 3k in that round and really sort of led the way for them then. I don't know. I don't like the way that LALOOSANCE is setting up their freezer play, and I think Dead Inside are droning it and understanding that, and are going to be capitalizing on it time and time again until LALOOSANCE makes an adjustment.
I think the benefit of Dead Inside right now is the aggressivity. I mean, we talked about it in last match, I think, a million times, but now we have to just bring it to the table once again. For example, a mission, getting the opening frag in the first round, don't caring at all what is going on and just walking in, for example, into freezer, finding one frag after another. This round as well, Ash beautifully just being able to push into freezer, find the frag. Even there was a shotgun waiting for him, the most dangerous gun in close combat fights, but he didn't care, right? As you mentioned, Smoking in that situation was just backing up. He pushed down, beautifully read into that situation and made advantage of that, and that's just the way to go.
Yeah, and you know the most important thing? Not only, so I mentioned that the 2 ADSs would get destroyed, but sort of to add on to that, not a flashbang was used, or an impact, or anything. That meant that they got rid of, 4 pieces of utility denial using 0 pieces of utility themselves, meaning that 1 remaining ADS, because remember, when Mai has been banned, Dead Inside banned them, it then means that those frag nades, we're seeing the Maverick with the frags, a Sledge, I believe, also with frag nades, lots of flashbangs available. It's just forcing everyone out of their positions, Ace bringing smokes as well. It just becomes really untenable to hold on to when you can't deny any of the utility that's being brought by the attackers.
Absolutely, and I think that utility is a good point right here as well, because the way the attackers can play right now is they don't have to deal with a lot of utility. Either it's misplaced, as you mentioned, for example, too much utility, too much exposed in freezer, or it's just at the wrong position so it doesn't catch them if needed. For example, the grenade toss earlier in freezer in the first round, right? That is a frag which could have been saved by utility at the right spot. And I mean, sure, Wamai is banned by Dead Inside, probably on purpose, but regardless, if you don't have the utility, you have to be aware of the situation. You have to know, okay, do I already need to retreat? Yes, no, because I might be in danger. I don't see them, but the grenade might be flying around the corner, and then you have to retreat already, even if you don't see anyone.
Yeah, and I think by positioning the ADSs there, what you need is the smoke to actually be more aggressive on the stairs, not less aggressive. It shouldn't be protecting him from a frag nade. It should be giving him the opportunity to push should anyone decide to throw a flashbang. But because of how passive he's being, hiding around the corner, waiting for them to come all the way down, and they're gonna know he's there. You can get your drone in and check him out, 5 minutes before he's even set up properly and go, oh yeah, he's gonna be there. We can push this without wasting any utility. And Dead Inside are doing a beautiful job of that. And the fact that you're losing a smoke and 2 ADSs consistently within the first minute of the round is really not a good start, because you're not going to have that smoke denial at the end for the plant or just an entrance denial. Again, 4 pieces of utility that could potentially be burned, that could be frag nades, that could be smoke nades to really deny the execute. They're going to be left alive and be able to be used to the maximum effectiveness, and LALOOSANCE are just going to get swept away if they continue to make those simple sort of mistakes.
Yeah, no, of course. what comes on top of that as well is, I mean, a lot of people try and sort of deny that factor, but Peeker's advantage is still a thing. Not necessarily on a technical way, but also on a physical human way. Whenever I peek first into an angle, I know I'm gonna peek. I don't have to react on it, right? Of course, when I see someone, I have to flick over. But if my aiming already is on point, then I just have to click my left mouse button. But the defender in that situation first has to react and see, hey, there's somebody peeking into me. I do need to react, and I do need to click my left mouse button. So the favor in that situation was definitely on Ash on a mission, but of course, if he wouldn't have hit the head, it could be a different story.
Absolutely, but LALOOSANCE, in my mind, making the smart decision, not wanting to stick it out 3 times in a row, given the fact that they've been pretty sound beatings when they've decided to go downstairs. They are now, of course, electing to go up top and defend the kids' bedroom and dorms. A little bit of attic play being brought out as standard. The Banshees, the ADSs, I would assume, get setting up there as well. And again, it's all about utility denial. Let's see if they can position it correctly this time.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
I think it's really a utility game right now, especially as you can see Mowgli in Master Bedroom once again having 2 ADSs stacked there plus a shield. I think he's going to switch positions now with MFZ, but regardless, there's 2 ADSs off site, of course, in a really important position, but they're off site, which means on site you're much more exposed to grenades being tossed in, to whatever utility might be flying on site. The maximum you can catch is 2 of them because Wamai is off the board, so you do have to plan with that. I mean, they do that. As you can see, there's not many shields on site, so they don't have to face that, but they do have to be careful on site because grenades can still be really deadly.
Yeah. Dead inside, taking advantage of this very on-site hole being brought out by LALOOSANCE and getting all of that downstairs presence over towards the western side of the map to, you know, just get things started. We're also going to have Zar over here opening up the attic. Nice little peek hole, so if someone's sitting on the stairs, they can look over and see where logistics is now. But for the time being, it's not gonna affect them too much.
And once again, we see little art coming up. I guess the first one is supposed to be a heart. No, of course not. It's supposed to be aiming holes, so you can aim through them, you can shoot through them, and you can get rid of the player, or also toss some stuff into attic. But at least it looked glamorous and nice.
Skyty out here, starting to burn some of that utility. Goyo shield's gone down, and we see the lack of the ADS over by this big window really starting to come into play. Johnny's actually found his way on in and is going to be going for the plant as Star gets the first kill. That's the smoke down. A mission over on the white stairs doing a good job of denying as much as he can as the diffuser goes down successfully. Johnny and the mission getting a kill each as Star goes down. 4 versus 2. As this retake starting to come on in. A good kill for the Goyo, the second kill for him in the round, the only 2 for his team, but he's going to get taken down by a mission on the white stairs. It's all left up to the Ella, flicking back and forth, but Skyty is going to be able to land it.
And therefore, the 3rd round on attack goes in favor of Dead Inside. And just checking back with the stats we had on the match earlier in Oregon. Oregon, attacker sided, question mark?
I think potentially, maybe not attacker sided, but Dead Inside sided right now.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, to sort of break it down, perfect. I think I can break it down with one word: perfect.
Yeah.
The how Dead Inside made use of the lack of utility on site, for example, ADSs, was absolutely on point. Smoking the rotation hole and just vaulting in, covering angles, walking up wide stairs, for example. A mission walking up wide stairs, taking care of that. At the same time, they were having holds instead of attic, preventing a push down there as well, or a crossfire. And that was just a perfect execution, in my opinion. Sure, in the act they lost people, but Was it anywhere a close situation? No.
No. No, it just very quickly fell apart.
10
And
seconds to insertion.
again, it comes down to the positioning of these ADSs. You have two
5 seconds to
inside
go.
of master bedroom. That is so much commitment to a monodirectional push. You are saying that you expect the other team to invest all of their utility in opening at master bedroom. They haven't done it this time, being a bit more sparing and spread out. They've got one over close to the attic box area, one next to the trophy doorway on the inside, and I'm not entirely sure where the third one is planted, but it's a much more balanced response and hopefully might be a bit more effective, because Dead Inside were just able to spam utility in through big window, and there was nothing LALOOSANCE could do about it.
Absolutely. I mean, the score is indicating that 3-0 lead right now for Dead Inside. Next round, next chance, kids and dorms, the next bomb side. Once again, we see SAR, hopefully with some beautiful art, taking a little bit of damage due to that Kate Electro Claw. Shots coming in as well, but emission is only there with the drone, so no body part extended or exposed to that, so nothing to be worried of. The first hole is being open, and that is a hole big enough so you can walk through. Sorry, did a really good job there. You could be more efficient, but honestly, you don't need to be in that situation, because you can walk in, you have what you need, and that's it. Especially on that bomb site, you don't really need that many hard breachers, so not a big waster.
Oh. And opening it up on that side of the wall means that you are slightly protected from the peak over by the end of attic, by the boxes that are there that are indestructible, so it's a little bit of a safer way to get on in while still giving you the opportunity to go peek from the stairs should you so choose to. But looking at this, Dead Inside doing a great job. There's no pressure from beneath coming through from LALOOSANCE, and oh no, almost taking down the Kaid as he's playing close, but he's going to challenge back through the floor and deal a little bit of damage onto SkyT, but not enough to finish him off. It's going to be Mastermort, though, finally landing the kill onto the Nomad. He struggled to do that last time. There was a duel between them on the stairs, but isn't going to be bested this time around.
50 seconds left. Majestic finds SAR. That is one more frag in their favor. LALOOSANCE now really looking strong, but it does need to play out as well, because once again it's going to come down to the very last seconds, and you still have to be afraid of emission. Emission with the R4 had has been deadly already, and he could be so once again, so you do have to be careful. He will probably be walking up wide stairs. At the same time, we do see Johnny getting damaged and shot at quite heavily from the master bedroom side. Skitty is there just to help as well, and now sooner or later we do need to see that push coming in. First utility bit being tossed in, a lot of damage dealt to Emission, but Emission finally finds the head. Skitty finds the head as well, or not the head, but the body. Majestic though finds the head, Slaz as well, and it's only up to Johnny in a 1v3 situation. No time to die and no time to plant. This round will be won by time, and LALOOSANCE takes finally the first round.
Yeah, and that came down, I think, to the opening kills. We saw Mastermort getting the frag on the Nomad below, and that Nomad would have been very instrumental in going for the push through Trophy, and then I believe it was Tsar as well died relatively early on. So it's those opening frags that LALOOSANCE have struggled to get. This is the first time they've really been able to get them, and it worked out for them. But just look at it, Majestics. He's the player right now for LALOOSANCE. If he dies early, we've not seen anyone else so far today show up enough. There's 2 players with a kill each, and then there's Majestics with 4. It's very one-sided.
Absolutely. Next bomb site is going to be Basement. Basement has been twice already won by Dead Inside. Now, Dino, what do you think? What do they really need to improve on the defensive side to being able to win now and finally Basement?
They need to get rid of those ADSs, and they've got 3 ADSs in freezer.
5 seconds.
2 of them close up for whatever reason, and then 1 further back close to the box where you would generally see a defender play later on. But again, like, there's no one why. What if they just completely decide to ignore Freezer and go down blue, but they still have someone on the Freezer stairs, so you can't go and collect those ADSs? That's a lot of utility in an irretrievable position that can be quite easily be bypassed, even if they choose to directly go at it.
Absolutely. And I really love to see how heavily the attackers are going to take this map. I mean, we did see them coming in at the top of Big Tower, so they definitely want to make sure to check every angle so they don't get shot in the back. Of course, drones are coming in as well, and that is something I have to admit. Dead Inside does seem to be absolutely the winner already of the drone game so far, because as you can see, the drones are checking everything. Every millimeter of the map is particularly checked by a drone, so no surprises or anything. So something you really don't see often, but the drone economy definitely is on place.
Yeah. I'm quite interested by this late reinforcement that they're going for there, and there's no one even playing it! That's 2 ADSs that no one was playing, no one was using, that just got immediately destroyed by a mission walking down the stairs. That is so much utility lost for no cost towards Dead Inside.
And as we can see, Slaz already retreated back, so Freezer is almost completely empty. Of course, the crossfire is established, but that is, of course, a big deal for the attackers, because with minimum of utility sort of used, they did find already quite a bunch of map control. Skitty now needs to push in into Freezer to get that secured as well. On the same time, blue and bottom of Big Tower stairs is not under control of the attackers at all. So Sar this time round, he does try something different, and with the help of a mission very soon they could push in from the bottom of main stairs from Laundry and get that done as well. The Goyo shield will actually be working against his own teammate. Mowgli is burning alive. A mission not able to see that little peek hole in the floor. MFZ is able to shut him down.
So 30 seconds to go. This attack is actually stalled out a little bit, and Mission not being able to find the entrance on in is going to prevent them from pushing it on down immediately. Majestic still hiding close to the bomb. They're going to be aware that this is the position that he likes to play, and Nico is actually going to be able to land the shot. MFZ still peeking through the very bottom of this wall, but with 15 seconds left to go, the defuse is down on the floor. It's all left up to SkyT, and he's not going to get it. LALOOSANCE right at the end, holding on for dear life inside of the site, able to land their shot, something they weren't able to do before, but whew, I do like to cut it close.
That was indeed a much better defense, even though I would say it was just a much worse attack. That was why LALOOSANCE won. So basically, the setup itself was not too bad. I mean, as you mentioned, maybe the ADSs once again have been on the wrong position where they would actually have been needed, but the positioning of the players was really nice. I mean, I just want to point out the peek into Laundry through the shot hole, perfect shot down a mission. One of the best fraggers we've seen so far in this match, so you definitely had a win already there. And then the perfect crossfire being established into Freezer, and also of course making use of it, working out as well. And because of the attack stalling for quite a time, you had the chance to use them. If the attackers would just utilize the speed they got and push through Freezer, you would have much harder of a time to utilize these holes, because you would just be overswept and overwhelmed by the amount of attackers coming your way. So like I said, a two-sided medal, but regardless, 3-2 either way for Dead Inside right now.
Yeah. And LALOOSANCE going for the most atypical site on the map. They're actually going to be going to Meeting and Kitchen. Generally, the tertiary site that we see from most teams is Kitchen and Dining. Defending that meeting hall area is really difficult, because if you lose control of that backstage, if you lose control of Attic, there's a lot of very safe plant spots that they can go for that can be covered by a lot of angles, and it's so difficult for you to fight back from as a defender, because you've got to be equally worried about an investment going on into Kitchen that you can't fully commit your resources.
That is the case, but also you have to be aware of Big Tower. Okay, that 2 ADS stacked, and still the flashbang got through. Nice. And you can see that ADS three ADS. I just saw that as well. So that is apparently definitely an important angle for them. But what you forget is there is a wall right next to it. If the attackers can find their way into that, can breach in there, they don't care anymore about these ADSs, right? They can slash the wall down, push into a meeting. So you have to be aware of that. Mowgli, though, getting rid of his shield. Ash utility just coming in clutch once again. Drone phase more or less coming in a second time this round because the attackers are mainly droning. Mowgli, though, will be able to shut down Nico as he tries to white pick him a little bit too aggressively. Refrag right there after Skitty is able to refrag right onto Slaz, and that is the smoke gone early on as well as your first frag. Nothing I would like to see.
Majestics losing so much health by the fight there, but Mowgli gets the kill onto a mission, actually destroys or uses up that air jab. And okay, so getting control of this back tower is important, getting control of Attic is important, but you also need some pressure to deny them pushing up through green, and Mowgli is doing a very good job of countering that, and that's going to be his third, just fighting from the same angle. Mazdamot getting his 5th kill so far since the rehost, and it's going to be Majestics to join him with 5 kills apiece. And LALOOSANCE, where was this in the first 3 rounds? This is completely different.
Yeah, definitely. Especially someone I want to highlight here is, of course, Majestic. No, not necessarily Majestic. Especially the work of Jaeger Mowgli in that situation was absolutely fantastic. He knew exactly what was going to happen. They would drain through the ADSs. They would peek. They also got rid of his shield, so he had less safety to play behind. But it didn't matter. He was still peeking. And that, in my opinion, was massive because we did see a lot of aggression early on from the attackers, but the defenders barely were playing aggressive. They were rather just playing with it, trying to get along, but never actually showing aggressivity themselves. And now they did, and now it was the first round. I would not say they won because of misplay by Dead Inside, but because they were just playing it better. Especially pointing out on a bomb side, which, as you said, is not liked and also not often won by teams.
Yeah. And, you know, as you sort of alluded to, Mowgli's ability to just hold down that green hallway, you can hold some very nice angles there just by, you know, not even with a shield, just by the nature of how you can set yourself up. But it is... It just feels very strange. I don't know where the jaws of the Dead Inside attack has gone, because those first 3 rounds were vicious. LALOOSANCE did not stand a chance, and now they're neck and neck.
Okay, that was weird. Anyways, Mowgli getting his drone into the top of main stairs and trying to get, with a little bit of help from MFC, into master bedroom, into armory as well, and trying to flush out the defenders as best as they can to get pressure onto the bomb spot. I mean, we all know how most of the teams like to play Oregon. They like to play with a master bedroom. We also did see LALOOSANCE doing that. That's why, of course, the big focus is for them there, because they know how important it can be. But we don't see Dead Inside with that much utility in master bedroom as before, so Dead Inside not having much control longer over it. As you could just see, the first breach attempt was there as well, into closet, denied by impact tricking. The nade flies in and lands perfectly fine. Mastermort beautifully tossing it in there, and that is also the impact out. So that means the breach will be going to open.
Yeah, only able to deny one of those Selmas with the impact. A beautifully cooked nade by Johnny meant that, or beautifully cooked nade by Mastermort meant that Johnny had no time to react. But there's only one Selma left, and they're also going to use it on this game's wall to get a pretty nice angle over towards this door of Attic. A little unorthodox, you might not expect that right off the bat, but Mazdamot making sure that Skitty isn't even going to be given the opportunity to fight back. Zar going to take down Mowgli. putting us now into a 3 versus 4 favor of LALOOSANCE on the attack for the time being, and well, it's just going to get even bigger as MFZ gets one. And Mission trades back Mazdamot, so it's a 2 versus 3. A very nice shot by Nico 2K, and he's actually going to down MFC as well. Points are off, so he might not be aware of this, but Slaz has managed to find his way inside. He's going to land the shots and actually finish off Nico, meaning that it's left up to a Mission in a 1 versus 2. MFC revives himself as Slaz is going for the plant. Mission needs to try and force his way in, and it's a beautiful shot. MFC goes down, and now he just needs to find Slaz, who is on 30 points of health. The NPX doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's doing enough. Even lower now, Slaz, less than 25. He's just got to try and hold on a Mission back and forth, peeking round, trying to guess the angle, and he does so correctly. A 3K for the round win. First round of defense with Dead inside, right down to the wire.
Defenders win.
That, wow. I mean, we all know a Mission, and we all know that he's confident in hitting shots, but basically the first shot as he walked into the bomb site, right, he did not care if he landed the shot. He was immediately flicking off that person, focused to the door, just because he was that confident of hitting the head and taking out that person completely, wiping that person out. Beautiful clutch there, and a beautiful round one there as well. 4-3, once again the lead for Dead inside. And yeah, I mean, the score basically indicates it. Both a Mission and Mastermind lead their team to more or less victory. In the end, it's still close, so I think it's going to be a fight in between those two.
Yeah, and a Mission, I feel like he's just warming up. You know, that was, he had some all right rounds at the start, and then, you know, got picked off relatively early on. But that 3K there, feels like he's starting to feel more of the rhythm of the game, and we might see his name popping up on the scoreboard in a more positive way from here on out.
Indeed. And yeah, once again, we do have a little pop-up. There are lots of LALOOSANCE kills. Since the rehouse, Majestic got 2 times a 2K, Mowgli got 1 times a 3K, and Mastermind 2 times a 3K. Actually, let's count that up quickly. We have a 2K. We have 4 kills here. That makes 7, and also 2Ks on top. So if my math skills are not completely broken, 11 kills only by individual people.
Yeah, 11 kills by 3 players since the rehost in very crucial fashion. Not all of those have led to round wins, but it's definitely all of those have definitely heavily impacted a round. And this is a much more typical blue hold. You know, you've got the 3 ADSs stacked up here where you can probably predict LALOOSANCE are going to come from, and they're being used to protect the shields. Nico's Goyo shield is going to get destroyed, and he's just going to run away, and I think we're going to see the same happening. Yep, the smoke also going to back off, using one of those canisters to cover his retreat. The reinforcement gets completely covered, but all 3 of those ADSs were used and burnt out utility, something that we didn't see from LALOOSANCE.
Honestly, for the attack round here in the basement, that was a really beautiful flush of utility. I mean, they have blue control within a minute. That is definitely quite efficient, and of course they can now also increase the pressure on site. Mowgli, of course, already peeking with the unforeseen hand into the bomb spot, but he has to be aware because C4s or smoke canisters might be flying his way, so don't be too sure that you're in safety there. On the other side, we also see Freezer still in control of the defender, so crossfire is established there as well. So finding your way easily into sight will not be possible, so you do have to fight for it. Maybe even get a different line of sight open. What is going to happen just right now? But Johnny, here is Johnny, shuts him down. Slash has to say good night and has to leave the round for the moment. But either way, the line of sight is open. C4 flying out. Whoa, no, it's stuck to the door, saving Mowgli from dying. Mowgli, though, finding his way onto the bomb spot, but he still has 1 minute left to fight with it.
Yeah, that C4 could have been round ending, but instead it's going to be the kills that are going to be the difference here. And back and forth they go, so we're now actually in a 2 versus 2. Both of the players on Dead Inside looking pretty lit up, whereas Majestics is still on full HP, going for the aggressive peek onto the Goyo inside of Freezer, and he's going to win it. The shot by the smoke takes the head off of MFC inside of blue, and now Majestics peeking around, but the shotgun! Oh! Zaha, close range, putting that Nomad in the ground. Good night.
What is going on? That was such a fast round. Can I please point out how efficient the attackers have been getting blue control, getting into the death trap, basically, where you want to toss out your C4s, surviving that C4. Of course, that was lucky, but it doesn't matter. They could say, like, they found their way actually onto the bomb spot. They got rid of Goyo and Freezer. That was beautiful, but the sheer amount of fragability, I don't have another word in my mind, the amount of fragability on Dead Inside's side is purely amazing.
Attackers need to locate and
it
defuse
is
as many bombs as they can.
terrifying because they probably should have lost that round. Both players low, goes 2 versus 2 into a 1 versus 2, and I mean, if they'd played together a little bit more and instead of challenging Saad directly in one-on-ones, they probably had a pretty decent chance of winning that round, especially after surviving the C4 toss that would have most definitely ended it. But I mean, brilliant last-second plays coming through in the last 2 rounds by Dead Inside with a mission in the post plant, and then that right there means that they're going to be forced onto their tertiary site, where hopefully, if you're a Dead Inside fan at least, it won't come down to the wire quite so much.
I mean, so far I have been impressed by the way LALOOSANCE actually could keep up with the aggressivity of Dead Inside and also win 3 rounds. So there's still everything possible for them, but especially on attack, it's much harder to fight on Oregon. I mean, we're still playing Oregon, a defender-sided map, but I think definitely after today, I'm really not trying to put my hand too high up and say a map is attacker or defender sided, because I have been proven wrong not only once today. Beautiful shot from Emission. Oh my goodness, Mowgli has to say goodbye. What a shot. And that is the opening frag once again in favor of Dead Inside.
The C4 being used by Emission to potentially distract the players that would be holding down the attic, but he's not going to peek with it just yet. Never mind, he's going to go for the challenge. It's not going to land to anything just yet, but it is going to slow down this push coming through from LALOOSANCE.
Mission also getting a sneak angle throughout the outside of the map. MFZ going into attic is the first one who might get encountered quite soon, also from 2 sides, so definitely has to be aware that people are going to peek to him really soon. On the other side, we do see the first the first Selma stopped because of the jammer from Mute. Mission with another beautiful shot, and the third one. Mission goes absolutely crazy. Might get another one. No, finally he will be able to get stopped by a Majestic, but that was a big amount of damage he could deal.
And that is possibly the round sort of ending play right there, because to lose so much of your well, to lose basically the entirety of one prong of your attack, and now you're just devoted and committed to these last 2 players in Z, and it's going to be Majestics getting down. Johnny with the owl to the bullet hose, spraying him down. The impact going on out to try and finish off the kill, but it's going to be the owl to close it out right there, and Dead Inside winning round number 9.
At least somebody got a new Pokemon for his Pokedex.
Yeah, I didn't realize Majestics was in the latest Pokemon update. You know?
Well, apparently he is, and I think honestly, if he would actually be in there, I think I would play it. Nevertheless, match point for Dead Inside. Dino, what do you think? What do you think LALOOSANCE could do different to win? even if they could even do something different.
I'm not going to say anything because whatever I say, I'm then going to be immediately proven wrong. LALOOSANCE would go and do precisely the opposite, take us to overtime and win 8-6. So instead,
protect your bombs
I'm
from
going to
being
leave that up
defused
to
by
you. What do
attackers.
you think LALOOSANCE could do?
Honestly, like I just teased a little bit, I don't think they could do anything different. From what I see so far, the speed from Dead Inside is purely amazing. I mean, a mission, is that even legal? Right? And I think the frag power of Dead Inside is just so high that whatever they try on the defensive side or on the LALOOSANCE side, they barely have a chance. And kill for kill, we also have a little nice fun fact here. Both Majestic and Star found 3Ks in round 8, matching each other's strides. So we also do see that both of these teams are getting gunfights won in their favor. But in the end, I don't know how Dead Inside does manage to come out on top, but I don't know if they also have some magic involved. But for some reason, whatever gunfight they go into, they will win. No matter if it's on short or on long term. They might lose on short term, but on long term, they're the one on top.
Yeah, each of these teams having specific players and specific rounds where they just show up, and that is it. That'll be the defining characteristic of that round. But it's it's quite interesting to see. It's very different to the more team-centric play that we saw in the previous game, especially once we got past Villa. And when we were on Oregon, it was the whole team needed to show up to win the round, whereas we're seeing a lot more sort of individuals just having really good moments, really good individual rounds that then are starting to translate into round wins, or at least if it's a player on Dead Inside doing it. It's not having quite the same effect if you're on LALOOSANCE.
Match point for Dead Inside. LALOOSANCE now has to activate all the energy and play perfectly, otherwise the first map might already fall into the hands of Dead Inside. MFC trying to get some more intel, gets the claymore in front of him so he is secured and will not get rushed at. But the drones are coming in at the same time. Emission, of course, sneakily being in the camera, getting all the intel for himself and his teammates. Big factor, maybe a runout might be coming up as well. We did see that already today, but not at the moment. But Nico could be doing that. A mission on the same time also relocating to small tower in case somebody is peeking big window. So there's safety and cover as well. At the same time, we do see Mowgli right in front of the bomb spot. The closet is being opened right now as well. So they have their entrance point set up, but they did not find any defender yet. So going into a gunfight 5v5 is going to be really hard, especially since the crossfires have been established by the defenders.
No attic control taken by LALOOSANCE. This is going to be so difficult, but the frag nade over the top is going to down the Goyo. The smoke canister to sort of hold back the attackers for the time being, to potentially allow them to go for the revive. But the cross here, oh, the timing! No, just as he checks the wrong angle. Got to be able to cross and get the revive. As Mazdamort to get one. Sard trading out Mazdamort immediately afterwards, and with 14 seconds to go, C4 goes on out, and it's going to be Slaz going for the plant. He gets downed by a different C4, so the plant is denied. LALOOSANCE need to recover the diffuser and go for this, but they just peek on into the waiting vector of the Goyo, and that is going to be map number 1, 7-3.
Beautifully played once again by Dead Inside, but a really nice attempt. What I did see by LALOOSANCE trying to plant in the door. I mean, they didn't know Goyo was down in attic, but it was a really nice try. Also getting him down with the nade, beautifully tossed there. But like I just mentioned, Dead Inside is, in my opinion, the team who has the game level itself, or the strategies itself, are on the same level. But the gunfires and the ability to win gunfires and shots is just on the pendulum is nowhere even close on LALOOSANCE's side. It's just hard to see from my side, because LALOOSANCE is trying the right things. They're trying to cope the problems with the right solutions, but they're just getting shut down, right?
Right. but we are going to be getting on into the game, so we're going to see if I'm right about these operator bans, which I'm more than likely not going to be. So, Silver, why don't you talk us through them as they come up?
Ladies and gentlemen, second map of the second match in today's evening matchup, Dead Inside against LALOOSANCE. First map went in favor of Dead Inside. Now we're facing off on Clubhouse, and as always, we're starting off with the ban phase. LALOOSANCE starting on defense, also going to start first, taking some time to decide who they want to ban, and it will be a Maverick. Nothing too crazy, like you mentioned already as well. Maverick, Thatcher, Ace. The whole opening a wall gameplay is a big thing here on that map, so definitely that is going to be influenced by that. On the other side, the next one is going to be a Capital. You also talked us through about that. We did see that on the past map already as well on Oregon, so nothing crazy, especially of course this map, sort of, let's say the favorite map of both Capital and Bandit, so the legends, or where legends have been formed. Next ban coming in, and the first ban from Dead Inside is going to be a Valkyrie. Also teased that a little bit, but now we have it confirmed. Valkyrie off the board as well, which definitely is really interesting, because now the chance that we are going to see a Mira is still open. LALOOSANCE can decide if they want to bring a Mira or leave Mira open. They're defending first, so they could have the chance first to utilize her. But it also will be a Mira ban, so we will not see Mira here on Clubhouse.
But we will be able to see a Thatcher, a Kaid, and a Wamai. 3 very typical bans that, you know, any given map of Clubhouse, we might see one of those come up. But this is going to be a very utility-heavy map, I feel, and it's going to come down to quite how well they're going to be able to use Wamai, should they choose to, and if they elect to use the Kaid. But it's looking like for the time being, LALOOSANCE aren't going to do either of those things, which is really perplexing, because they're 2 very powerful operators that, given the situation, might be able to give them quite a good leg up in these rounds.
Alright, we're starting it off now in the basement. Nothing you see too often. Most of the teams do tend to play on the default bomb spot, which obviously is CCTV and cache, but maybe sometimes all you need is that little switch. And as we can see in the attack, the operators are perfectly fine for both of these bomb spots, so not a crazy deal here or there. But it's going down to see how LALOOSANCE is going to play this map, because we do know a bunch of ways to play this map. I mean, I just want to point back, it's not done that often anymore, but for example, the SSG hold, where you heavily hold the top floor and just try to deny intel. Then you also can just by default hold top floor without denying the intel, and rather use the utility in the top floor as well, and, you know, play it in a similar way to the SSG strat, but with less intel denial and more aggressivity. Or we have the full basement hold, which it looks like we're going to see here as well. So definitely a variety of different holds. So really interesting to see how Dead Inside is going to cope with it.
Yeah. But for the time being, they're going to ensure they've got that top floor control, lots of droning going on, and setting up for blue. Pretty standard setup so far. The big thing when it comes to attacking downstairs on this map is that you need to set up 2 lines of attack, 2 pincers to apply pressure into the site and completely just cut off whatever rotations they want to make. So opening up above and getting that kitchen hatch and potentially dirt is considered really 1 line of attack, and then having pressure coming in from blue or the main stairs would be a good alternative. But it's going to be a C4 toss going up. It's going to catch a mission just a little bit, but not enough to finish him off just yet.
And that little impact, of course, is already enough for a gunfight later, so whenever needed, that might come in clutch. Also, the shots, of course, flying through the metal bars, and the Pokeball flying right after. MFC collects the kill onto a mission. One of the best fraggers in that matchup so far. We have Cetus out. Kassar at the same time finds the refrag though, so it's a nice trade-off here. but they do have control now over kitchen and also over arsenal, most of it at least, so they can attempt to go for a breach of the hatch.
And it looks like it might be successful. No one is close by with impact nades to deny it. Little shots going on up to prevent an immediate hot drop, but 4 versus 4 for the time being. Time slowly starting to whittle away. Flashbangs going on down to potentially burn any ADSs, or if there was a 1-mine, any 1-mine discs that might be located there. Seeing as Dead Inside have only really been able to open up this one hatch, they don't have an alternative angle to aggress on into the site itself. And you can see all of LALOOSANCE's setup in this one long line. They are starting to drop on down through the bar hatch, but well, that was Skyty, and he went for it and was immediately eradicated by Mazdamot. But with only 15 seconds left to go, all eyes are faced towards that kitchen hatch. Johnny's slowly trying to make his way down the dirt corridor, but it's going to be the smoke close by with the shotgun. Nico gets 1, 2 versus 3. The plant is going down and looks like it might be successful. Yes, it is. The player on top of the hatch goes down, but it's all left up to the Hibana. Can't change weapons in time, and that is going to be Mowgli going on in for the defuse. LALOOSANCE, just too many bodies left alive right at the end, and a good way to end round 1. I'm not entirely sure what Dead Inside were trying to do, because we saw that they had that top control over kitchen and they had someone coming down dirt, but they came down really late and they didn't have anyone sort of applying pressure from an alternative angle, whether that be blue. They did have one guy at one point very briefly inside of Moto, but you need a bit more commitment to the alternative pincer to be really effective when it comes to that execute.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the first round, no 1, and the lead also for LALOOSANCE, sorry. And that is what I'd like to see. That was a strong defense. That was almost perfect. Here and there, of course, you could argue, but it doesn't matter because they won the round and they won it in a good way, right? They had early fighting in kitchen and they won it. They had fighting going on in dirt, smoke won it. They had the hatch being open, but they held it. For example, Legion, as far as I could tell, he was holding it most of the time. So no matter where the attackers were trying to come from, the control for it or the line of sights were being held. So like I said, this is a bomb site and also overall a map which we're seeing quite often. So you know where teams are coming from, where players are coming from. You know what kind of variety of strategies teams would, you know, be likely to apply. So you can imagine how this map is going to play out. And I do think this favors LALOOSANCE even more than Dead Inside, because Dead Inside is really good at fragging. They can really read really good into the situation, but they can frag less if LALOOSANCE expect them to come from a certain point. So this map might be the turn we need to shift the tides.
Absolutely. But as we're seeing it now, we're going to go for the setup, trying to open up this main breach wall onto CCTV. And there's a bandit of Mazdamot attempting to actively bandit trick it with the Thatcher, the Zofia, and the Ace. It's going to be very difficult as those stuns come on through. It forces Mazdamot off of the bandit trick, and the Aces will detonate successfully. So, decent start to this round, being able to get that wall opened up nice and early always gives the attacking team a lot of favors, but that, what a shot by MFZ as he takes the head off of Johnny, the Ace repelling upside down on the breach. Fortunately, he had already used all of his Selmas, but whew, that was
a beautiful opening frag, and also, of course, taking out Ace, taking out Johnny, really important there. I mean, most of the chili, I guess, as far as I can tell, has already been used, but it's definitely an important frag, nonetheless. Either way, 1:30 are gone. Halfway of the round is through, and so far, LALOOSANCE is able to hold down no as far even exactly when I want to say it. Something happens and proves me wrong. Mowgli and also the control over Garage gets lost, most of it at least. So definitely some action needs to be here and some rotation needs to happen here. Otherwise, Garage will be a main attack point for the attackers. And Skitty just shuts on the next person rotating into Garage. MFC has to say goodbye as well. And there we have the favor once again established for Dead Inside.
2 players inside of the site. Majestics over by the red stairs. We actually see Mazdamort rotate into construction as soon as I talk about where they are. But they do have C4 still available. 2 C4s are left up for LALOOSANCE. So if they want to, they could potentially rotate down late and try and go for a C4 to deny. They also have smokes, which with about 30 seconds left to go, now is the perfect time to start using them to really prolong the amount of time that LALOOSANCE can hold onto the site for. Starting to push on in. It's actually Skitty with the diffuser over by the actual entrance, and Amision is going to get 1. Mazdamort getting 1 for himself, but the plant is down successfully in the atypical spot, and it's going to be able to be covered from outside of the breach. But we are now in a 2 versus 2. Nico attempting to hold downstairs, unaware that both of the players are actually inside of the site and going to be holding it from that point on. Mazdamort trying to apply some cover, but it's going to be the smoke actually diffusing from a safe distance. He lands the shot out onto the balcony, and Nico's so far away. He's trying to shoot up through the floor, but he's not getting it right. Mazdamort doesn't even need to do anything. This disable's going to come through. Dead Inside. What happened? What? Oof.
So the plant spot itself was beautiful because we could see a bandit tossing his C4 to the default plant spot, which is of course behind the server rack next to the bomb with a lot of cover. But we did see bandit tossing his C4 there, so Zofia would have been dead earlier if she would have punted somewhere else. But the post plant cover was not there as it has needed to be there. In that situation, I don't know why Sledge was below, but Sledge being, for example, in Garage would have changed the round, because then you could have kind of a crossfire, and once in a while Sledge could peek to the diffuser as well. Because the problem is, if you peek from the Garage rappel or from the breach rappel, they know where you hang, because they can see the little hook where your rappel is at, and therefore they can just pre-fire your head. Reading out that little note we got here from our production, stealing momentum. Yeah, there we go. After losing the last 4 rounds in map 1, LALOOSANCE wins the first 2 rounds of this map to slow Dead Inside's inertia. I don't know that word actually. Could somebody explain?
Inertia, momentum, the build and the...
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, it did start to feel a little inevitable that Dead Inside were just going to keep that momentum up and roll straight through LALOOSANCE here. But LALOOSANCE doing a very good job, I will admit. Nico potentially, costing that round a little bit by staying inside of Lounge. If he had a drone left in his pocket, could have potentially used that to position in Lounge. That wall is soft, you can shoot through should anyone decide to go below. But with the diffuser where it is, you can then go and play inside of Garage and try and deny as many rotations as possible. That wasn't the case, and they just lost in the post-plant situation, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I would like to take that quick little second to give a shout out to the chat. Chat, please tell me who would you like to see come out as a winner. We do have some fans, as I can see already, from Dead Inside in the chat, but please spam your emotes, spam your quotes. Let me see who you're cheering for so I can have an idea as well. In the meantime, I was talking about that. The main breach got opened in CCTV. But the bomb site, of course, is gym bedroom, so that is only going to be a little bit help to get the top floor control. Nico at the same time also quite relocated, getting control over the eastern side, yes, eastern side of the map. Johnny lands the first shot onto Mowgli, takes out Jaeger, takes out that roamer as well. But the refrag from Majestic to a mission is right there right after, so the trade is definitely in place. Sledge against Jaeger, not a bad deal for the defenders, so they can definitely still work with it. Utility being used to get into cash, and from there on, of course, they have to further push down into logistics. Ooh. What a peek from MFC. Beautiful shot. MP5 in hand takes the shot onto, I think it was a mission, right? No, it was Nico actually. Yes, takes out Nico here as well, and therefore the attackers do have a really hard time to push on further.
Now, the attackers have been able to successfully take over this side of the map. Getting control over cache and CCTV is always an important step. However, they basically devoted all of their utility, or all of their successful utility so far in doing so, whereas they need to apply at least something onto this jacuzzi wall. I think we did just see Ace actually detonate some of those salvos, or at least try to. I do believe the wall might be bandited for the time being, but Tsar just going to jump on into construction and gonna lose his life. Tsar's holding a very nice angle right at the back. It's going to be skitty to get that kill, but just LALOOSANCE too good right now. I guess they must have just had other people playing at their computers from the last game, because this is a completely different team.
I mean, maybe just the same thing is going to happen as we saw in the first match as well, that whichever team loses the first map is actually going to come out as the winner. I don't know if that has to do with warming up for a match or it's whatever. Either way, this looks like a completely different team right now. LALOOSANCE really makes things happen which they haven't been able to do before. But I love that fighting. I love when they don't give up yet, because the first map was really one-sided, but this map could also be really one-sided, but in the other way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dead Inside need to win 2 out of these next 3 rounds to really give themselves a shot at being able to hold onto this moving forward. If they're unable to do so, if they just collect 1, it's going to be so difficult. They'd have to go either perfect or near perfect to give themselves a chance to win this game. And I mean, defending Clubhouse is defender favored quite heavily, but I don't see it being quite that defender favored, going from a 5-1 or a 6-0 to then a 5-1 or a 6-0 the other way. Gonna need to see Dead Inside show up and get a couple rounds here, and I think it could start right here. They were able to successfully get the plant down, and they weren't in terrible post-plant positions. They just didn't have an alternative pincer to the main push, and that's what really caught them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly enough, the lead for LALOOSANCE is really heavy, as you mentioned. Dead Inside does need to win at least 2 of these next 3 rounds. Otherwise, I'm also inclined to say that this might be really, really big advantage for LALOOSANCE. Nonetheless, everything is still open. If we look at the setup, nothing crazy, but I do like to point out that we have a pulse. I think it's the first time we have a pulse in this matchup. So definitely something making it more spicy, making it more interesting, because of course a pulse always sort of promises somebody's going to get C4 through the floor. At least that is what we're loving to see, but that just has to happen. I think it's a very good map where you can play pulse just because of most floors being soft destructible. Also, most floors are from above a target for the attackers, as we can legit just see. So perfect to bring a pulse, but the pulse also has to work in your favor.
Yeah, Mission doing quite a lot of work already, getting a lot of that hallway opened up and destroyed. It looks like Johnny's already used 2 of his salvos, I think, to get 1 of the hatches, and he's going to use his last one to open up Derb. But Mazdamort with a perfectly placed C4 is actually going to get the kill onto a Mission this time around. Previously, he only dealt about 50 points of damage, but this time able to secure the frag, so there will be no more sledging going on from here on out.
Absolutely. With Mission lost and taken off the leaderboard, definitely Dead Inside has once again a hard one getting into this second map. Like we just mentioned, this has to be at least one of the rounds or the next one which they do need to win. Otherwise, it's going to be looking really bad for them. Sorry. But on the other side, they also, I think, in my opinion, need to get a different approach vector coming in. They can't all just be standing in kitchen and do nothing. I mean, they're rewarded with a kill just right as I mentioned it, so I'm proven wrong once again. But they do have to make more than that. You're not going to win that bomb spot by only attacking kitchen. You need more levels. You need, I don't know, maybe dirt as well. You need from oil pit the attack as well. You need maybe main stairs to push in as well. You do need to have as many angles as possible, because this is a really comfy spot for the defenders. They can hide, they can hold crossfires for as long as they want if you don't interfere with them.
3 players inside of Kitchen, and this smoke is able to use dirt perfectly to his advantage. We do see Nico finally leave Kitchen and start to apply pressure down the main stairs as the Zofia is over by the top of Blue. Xar is going to get a kill onto Magistix as the smoke peaks on around. The pressure from the hatch is going to collect 1 kill. Mastamore again trying to push on into the site, but I guess I was wrong. I guess all they need to do is hold the hatch and shoot them as they come running on in.
So, where exactly does the rule now state that we have to be proven wrong? Because it just happened once again.
Yeah, I just don't even know. The amount of times though where we've seen those sort of monodirectional pushes on, especially this bomb site, where they just go for Kitchen, or they just go for Blue, or they just go for Church, and it just crumbles. It always falls apart. And it even fell apart previously, but this time around, LALOOSANCE unable to deal with the guy after he dropped, and the angles being held from the hatch were just enough to secure the round.
From being defused by attackers.
Yeah, absolutely. And basement is going to be the choose for the defenders once again. Once again, we do see the pulls. Once again, we do see the same attacker lineup as well. So indicates that we might see the same pushes and the same angles being held again. But I do hope that Inside is now showing us also what they else have prepared, because I don't think you can just reproduce dropping Kitchen Hatch a second time and come out as a winner.
I don't know. You know,
I mean, probably I will be proven wrong, so whatever I say, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've said that they're going to go for this monodirectional push again, and it's not going to happen. I do think that if a mission survives a bit longer, we might see more variety coming through, but because he's died quite early on both of the executes, I feel it's limited the amount of people that they're spreading out around the map. They're trying to keep them focused around Kitchen, and because of that, it's hampering sort of the variety of the push.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also, as you mentioned, the thriving power, a mission not coming in as clutch as he used to, is a big factor for Dead Inside, because they don't have that entry frag momentum. They don't have that person which they can just follow and collect the kill together with him and hold his back. So they also need to step it up. It didn't work out through the first 3 rounds. The last one now worked out though. So maybe slowly they're now getting into it as well. But like I said, it's definitely something which has to be done by them as well. In a team, eventually anyone has to be able to clutch. Anyone has to be able to frag. So anyone has to shine.
C4 going up early this time around. Potentially when the pulse gives the signal of the Sledge walking on in can give the call, but Sledge not sticking around for too long, so isn't going to get caught out by it this time around. Pre-placed, but Mastamort might just chuck it up, and that is a very interesting stat that we've just seen, as a mission is going to get the kill onto Mastamort. There's been no Wamai played. He has been banned in every single map throughout CCS so far. The first map where he hasn't been banned through 5 rounds, we've not seen him picked once.
That is honestly interesting, especially for the variety of maps. But I mean, most of the times we do see Wamai banned either way. I don't know, maybe something changed throughout this season or throughout the last couple of weeks, because as far as I can tell, both in Pro League, in Challenger League, and in Nationals, Wamai is definitely one of the most picked operators. But apparently it's a different story here. MFC will be down by that little quick peek here from Xar. Beautiful shot downing the Melusi. Might also be an entrance point now to work with it, because Mowgli will be down right after. Normally there's an ADS, but it has been burned out already and it has been destroyed, so he will be safe, but also only having 20 HP left, so definitely has to be aware if he goes into a gunfight that he's not dying. So Majestic is going to find Nico. Xar is able to drop Kitchen Hatch once again. Skitty finds a frag for him as well. Johnny as well. What is happening? It's up to Majestic, but the mission shuts him down the second time. kitchen hedge drops works again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm giving up.
We did see a lot more variety this time around. We did see, I believe it was a mission going down those main stairs. He was peaked by the Legion and finished off. But there was that pressure coming in from Blue as well to deny the Jaeger's strong position of being able to push up through boxes. And it meant that Mowgli and MFC were both on very low HP. About 20 points of health when it came to that final execute, which just makes things so much easier when you're trying to go for the plant. Also, I don't know what's going on, but those smokes, they look like they should be hitting right where that plant is going down, but they're just not working. They're not dealing damage at either a fast enough rate for me to really notice, or just at all. And it's more just the player with the diffuser standing up and getting out of the way than being like actually punished by the smoke being there and getting himself exposed to potentially a frag coming through from a teammate.
You know why I love Siege. whatever happens, it's still, everything is still open. Like, I do like to say that sentence, but sometimes even I forget the meaning of it. And second round we have been proven wrong. We also said Dead Inside needs 2 rounds in order to come out on top, or at least have a chance in the second half as well. Well, I mean, they just did that, basically. I don't know how. If I can think back, I only remember one thing, it was kitchen hatch drop. But nonetheless, they might, if they win the next round, come into a tie with LALOOSANCE and then have a really good looking start for their second half of the map. But also, of course, LALOOSANCE might be the one winning the next round, and then we will see a 4-2, which is not too bad, to be honest, for Clubhouse. I mean, Clubhouse statistically, still one of the defender-sided maps, not heavily, but defender-sided. And nice little fun fact once again, level playing field. Every single player sporting 3 to 5 kills after 5 rounds. That is really nice. That shows everyone is on the same height for this map. Everyone is on the same level on taking gunfights, on risking gunfights. And I mean, the score basically indicates it as well. Teams are once again fighting for it. They're once again on the same eye level.
Yeah. Looking at it, Johnny getting the first kill, Mazdamot trying to get, I don't know if he was trying to get aggressive on the breach or if he was still caught putting a bandit wire down. Looked away for a second, but he is going to be the opening frag, despite all the readjustments that LALOOSANCE made to assist in the bandit tricking. We even see them for the very first time in CCS EU bringing out a Wamaya, and it still didn't help them with that bandit trick as Mazdamot dies early on. The breach successfully open. They're going to be trying to open up garage. The impact takes away some of the banners, but not enough to get rid of all. But there's going to be 2 of those impacts gone, and that's going to be pretty vital later on, as they can be used to help deny the plant if they're low HP.
And that of course makes it much easier to get into garage as well. Majestic already had to fall back sort of into the top of rafters underneath the window, so the pressure is increasing more and more, both from the breach but also of course from garage. But they do need to win one of these fights eventually. If not, they're going to have a hard time, and the mission is also having a hard time as he gets shut down by MFC. Johnny is able to reflect onto Majestic, taking Wamai eventually, and I think now also Garrett should be clear and should be easy to go for them because no one else is there. Though there is some gadgets waiting for them. For example, smoke canisters popping off right now as well to delay the push, to delay the entrance actually. And Mowgli, of course, also right next to the door, could wide swing any second. MFC could also go for the peek, and yes, he will do so. He will be spotted shooting Skitty a little bit lower on HP, but not being able to finish off the kill as well. Mowgli with the pre-fire onto Skitty finally secures the frag. Smoke canister popping out, damaging Star as well, but the diffuser will go down actually successfully. Slash with a rotate onto Nico, finding the headshot as well. 2v2 postman situation. Sar with the bearing, and Johnny as well with the AK. That round went as well into favor of Dead Inside, and we do see a tie.
Yeah, somehow that smoke canister, it again looked like it was right on top of the Hibana, but she wasn't taking damage as she got the plant down, and then sort of the smoke obscuring the vision of of the defenders as they're trying to go for the retake just completely tore the round apart for them, and it's pretty pretty impressive to see as they're just holding it down. They were down pretty bad after those first 3 rounds, but to bring it back, especially 2 pretty simplistic pushes into the downstairs bomb site to get back to this point is very impressive.
Absolutely. And seeing
Attackers
how
need to locate and defuse as many
almost
bombs
how
as they can.
easy it is for them to turn around everything. I mean, they were 3-0 down. Now we have a tie. How easy it was for them to adjust themselves is also really impressive to me. I mean, for me personally, if I play Siege, right, and I think all you guys out there can relate as well, it's quite frustrating if you lose. I think that is a human thing, that is normal, but it's not professional to give up, and that is what you never should do if you're playing competitive, and I don't think these teams do that, and Dead Inside proved us they were not giving up yet. They're up a map, match point for them map-wise,
5 seconds to
and
go.
no matter how bad it looked for them, they were just, you know,
Attackers objective
trying
is
to get it
defuse the
back
bomb.
running for them into their favor. And that's what we see now. Now we have them on defense 3-3. On the other side, LALOOSANCE. That is what I want to see. The first 3 rounds were beautifully played. Really, really beautiful. I think the last, especially last 2 rounds, really just struggled because of sort of infrastructural problems. I mean, for example, as you mentioned, the smoke canister not landing where it should land or not hitting what it should hit. Something you can, of course, influence. But yeah, regardless, I don't know. So close.
Yeah, but we are actually seeing Dead Inside bringing out the Wamai, so might be seeing a little bit more of that Wamai play coming through, and great job by Emission to deny that breach from getting opened up with the Hibana straight off the bat. And he's actually ready to go for the C4, but he doesn't even need it there. Immediate headshot to eliminate Mowgli. That's the Ash off of the board. And that's Garage Control going to remain in their hands for the time being. He could potentially try and deny the wall again, but he's not going to. He's just going to run away for now, because the actual bomb site is gym and bedroom, not CCTV cache.
And all that process of wasting the time of the attackers far away offside, also getting killed, is of course even more painful for LALOOSANCE, because not only do they lose players, they also lose utility, they also use time, and they use actually an entrance. And as I say that, Skitty also finds the head of Slaz, even slaying down 1 more and getting control back over Garage. He will be refragged though, but that took them 1 minute 30 to get control over CCTV and Garage, and a mission is already getting in place to hold down Cash, and he lands the shot onto Majestic. Might be finding 1 more. No, he retreats actually, but MFC will be down with help from SAR as well, as we can see on top of Brownstairs. And now the crossfire is established. Small canister finished the kill onto MFC. It's up to Mastermord. He has to clutch against 4 other people in a mission with a revolver, not giving him a single chance.
That's just BM. The confidence. I admire the confidence, but oh, the 1-tap. Oh my.
Oh.
Whew. Ambition was the star of that round, retrieving 2 Electroclaws, denying 2 sets of Escaros, getting back on over to deny them if they wanted to open Jacuzzi later on, and then hitting a very beautiful 3K in that round. All of those shots were perfect headshots, basically, especially that last one. That was really something impressive to see.
I'm really impressed. And this is what I mean, right? I talked about it through the first map. The way we do see LALOOSANCE approaching the situation is not wrong at all. They're having the right ideas, they're having the right approach on it, but they're just losing the gunfights. I mean, if you face a mission, what are you supposed to do? I think the only way you would not die against a mission is by bringing a shield. Honestly, that could be worth a try, bringing a Monty, but anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, it seems like almost impossible for them to get into the map without either shutting down a mission without a problem. Like either he dies as one of the first guys, or he slaps you in the face with a revolver 1-tap.
Yeah, I mean, Emission was really struggling up until this point. He'd only had 3 kills, and with 3 kills through 6 rounds, not really what we're expecting to see, I'd say. But then that last round, again, just the pinnacle of what you would expect to see from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we just want to take a moment to thank our great sponsor for this season, CCS Season 5, that is TabStats. We're currently simulcasting through Twitch to tabstats.com, so if you haven't checked them out, you can do so without missing any CCS action, and action is what's going on right now.
Absolutely. Definitely massive shout out to them, and you should definitely give them a shot and check them out. On the same time as you talked about action was happening as well. Actually not much, but I mean there's more going on than you just see. As you can see, Skitty taking massive damage in the act of relocating himself in the basement of Armory. At the same time, the attackers should be able to get Kitchen Edge without a problem. Sledge is able to help. Actually, they are not getting the hatch. That was brilliant timing. Second EMP goes out, and now the hatch should open. Yes, Skitty takes a lot of damage, but at least they could get rid of 2 Hibana X-Carrier pallet sets. Majestic finds the kill onto Nico as well and shuts down Jaeger, but you have to be certainly aware because now the favor is once again on LALOOSANCE's side. Skitty down, really low on HP. Definitely has to be aware if the attackers are facing him. 3 other defenders are actually left only, but time-wise, I would say it is still able for both teams. I mean, anyways, they're going to prove me wrong either way, whatever I'm going to say, so I'm just not going to say anything. But I do like to see that the attackers are playing this very settle. They take out the utility, they play for it. Mission at the same time, once again, proves me wrong. Shuts down MFC. But like I said, the attackers are slaying their way through the utility, also coming into construction right now here as well, and into dirt. Don't call it a comeback. Johnny earns a 4K and Emission finds a 3K in the past 2 rounds. So yeah, that is basically not don't call it a comeback, just don't call anything, dear casters.
Yeah, as soon as we mention a player that might be struggling compared to where we usually expect to see them, they of course then just go out and absolutely pop off in the next few rounds. But this round is about to come to a close. There's less than 30 seconds to go, and the pressure coming in through dirt is going to be the primary execute. The flashbangs, the frag nades, doesn't force Tsar out of his position. He's still up close with the shotgun. If blast comes on out, it doesn't actually... Oh no, it was a mission to get a kill onto Mowgli. It didn't do anything to the Ash. The mission is over here by the AKs. He's going to be one of the most pivotal players in this round. The bomb actually gets lost up inside of Kitchen, and a mission just holding on here. It doesn't even matter at this point. He brings out the revolver again.
Please don't tell me it's a one tab.
I don't think it is, but no. Okay. I don't think I could stand it if a mission just pulled out the revolver and beamed someone cross map with it.
My thoughts are messed up right now. This run looked so good for LALOOSANCE. The push coming in from dirt. At the same time, kitchen hatch pressure was increased. Everything looked so good. They had a tie man count wise. And yet, at the same time, I think that everything is turning around and falls in favor of Dead Inside.
So in that round at the end, they had 3 players in dirt and the guy with the diffuser alone in kitchen. Someone from the side of Dead Inside, I don't remember who, flanked up the main stairs and killed the player in kitchen, meaning that the diffuser was lost, and then those 3 players inside of dirt had nowhere really to go. Mission was able to just clean them up very quickly, and I mean, the round just disappeared in front of our eyes, and Mission is on 10-5 now, after being 3-5 at the half. That is an incredible turnaround in performance.
Absolutely. I mean, winning 5 rounds back to back is just impressive. I know I sound stunned, but I actually am. I'm really impressed by how consistent and how well Dead Inside can play together and even win situations which are really not looking as they would fall in their favor. So definitely that is what I love about Siege, and especially about Com. Teams are always in their own driver seats. But okay, nice little angle we saw there for a split of a second. Yeah, they're always in their own driver's seat, and no matter how bad it looks, with the synergy and the level of communication which we are seeing from Dead Inside right now, you can make it happen. And that is something most teams can't do, but this is something you will learn if you go into the pro scene, if you go into the higher competitive scene, how important communication is, how massive the influence can be. Mission almost taking his life there due to a lucky wall bang, but luckily stays alive.
Yeah, very common wall bang, just spraying through the wall, making sure that no one's playing by that blue box so they can protect the window, but it's going to get lose a lot of HP for it. In fact, losing a lot of HP is going to be Nico. He's going to lose all of it. And MFC is going to lose, well, quite a lot of his as well, as they're going to start opening up this construction wall, completely choosing to neglect this main CCTV breach, something that we normally see get opened in tandem with a construction push to help alleviate some of the pressure on just these two very simple entrances.
And as you can see, also Mission seems to struggle a little bit by understanding where the push is coming from and where not. He doesn't really he's not really sure if the push is coming actually also from the ridge or not. Now it will be, but the bandit charge will get at least one of the Selmas, but the other one will of course not be able to get caught. And Mission is also down in the act of running away, but should be able to get rest as well. Yes, he will. So Slaz at the same time lands a shot onto Skitty, shots down Wamai, and therefore it also increases the advantage for LALOOSANCE. LALOOSANCE does need to make that last push happen, because this could be once again their round to come closer to a potential tie. Sar at the same time finds the head of Majestic with the SMG-11 and shuts him down right after as well. Mowgli from inside construction shuts down Sar to trade the frag right after. Garage B coming out, but the game sense is there for Slaz, and Mowgli is also able to shut down Johnny as the last kill secured the next round for LALOOSANCE, and they might actually get it happening to see a tie.
Yeah, they were able to. I briefly mentioned it. I thought, well, generally teams, they open up the CCTV breach first. It's easier, it's right there, it's on the outside. You don't need to spend time clearing through the map. You'll use your Ace and your Thatcher, open it up very early, and then potentially use your Hibana over on the other side. But just switching it up, getting that construction control first, fortunately taking away a lot of Emission's health right at the beginning, and just being able to create so many angles, pressuring the players inside of the site. And this is what we generally want to see on a downstairs attack, creating lots of those angles and applying pressure from lots of different directions. But teams seem to be more comfortable doing it attacking CCTV cache than they are when they're attacking down in the basement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the way LALOOSANCE played this, because you could literally see a Mission was not sure if there was a breach still going on the main CCTV wall or not. So he was asking himself, should I pick them up? Should I not? Should I stay? And that was something which, you know, most teams would in this situation just pick his stuff up and rotate away, but he didn't, and that at least gave us some more seconds. Nice fun fact once again, Wild West Mission has found the first 2 revolver kills in CCS EU this map. Both were headshots. Absolutely.
I'm out.
All right. It's nothing.
Yeah. So, as we're seeing this execute start to come through, they're going to be opening up above logistics. And not wasting, making sure they don't get caught out by Emission's trickery over here, but maybe No, I think the first explosion of those Excaliburs actually destroyed the electrical that was positioned on the floor. So, Emission not as effective with his electrical this time around, but it's still used up 2 EMPs early on. And Nico going for the run out takes down Mazdamot. This is going to be a very impactful frag.
Yeah, next to strip club, you can almost go for a walk. Emission finds that off MFZ. Sorry, my words are really hard right now. Anyways, advantage for Dead Inside, only 1 point away from match point, so this is definitely a really good favor for them, and also looking really good because the players from LALOOSANCE now do need to relocate and also find the utility on the right place. Impact tracking is also still a thing, as we just saw, and that keeps the wall into bathroom shut for at least a little longer. And also we do see him ready there. He wants to pick Emission, wants to pick, and he gets the kill. Double kill for him, punishing Majestic for not being able to spot that little hole. But how, of course, should he be able to? Slaz refragging onto Nico, but Skitty is able to refrag onto Slaz. Up to Mowgli, up to him to secure his team from going against a match point. He will not be able to do that. Dead Inside now proceeds to match point on map 2.
Just a brilliant defense. I love this defense in depth that we see. They do a really good job of holding over by CCTV Cash, and even if that exterior wall gets opened up, they back away a little bit, wait until the pressure moves past it, and then they go back, and that bullet hole peek through the window. Emission, you can't be doing them like that. That is filthy.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said earlier, on this level of gameplay, you can't gift away something to your opponents. And I think Emission is a perfect example. He's not gifting away a single chance, not giving away anything. And therefore, he was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on 12 kills, leading his team currently to a potential victory. Because if they do win the next round, it's over. Then the match falls into the hands of Dead Inside.
And they are going to go back downstairs where they've won before. Mission finishing this round off as well with a revolver kill. But they are investing a lot of utility this time, something that they haven't done before, into this top floor, and a bit more of an SSG style hold, but they're missing the vigil. And I don't know, I've seen a lot of teams try the SSG strategy and it has just not worked out. They're too slow to rotate back onto the site, and if the other team realizes, oh, they're doing SSG, they just rush and they get caught out. I've not seen it be as effective when another team's tried to imitate it.
I mean, the benefit of LALOOSANCE right now is, as we can see, MFC has his drone on site. He can spot and count how many people are on site, and then already give the call, because if they do spot that early, and that is basically the big weakness of an SSG sort of strat, if you can spot that early and right away attack side, you have a good chance of coming out on top. But if you don't, if you actually play with it and fall for it, then your drones will get ripped off by Mozzie. Then you will have to deal with a lot of utility in the top floor. You will have to be able to get rid of the castle charge as well. Sar is the first one to die to Majestic. I don't know where exactly he was. He was on the top floor. Oh, that's no, he prepped the hole himself and got shut down for the unlucky.
Majestic's finding his way inside of stock and just waiting patiently for Sar to expose himself, and this is what I mean. So we already see Mazdamot inside of blue, or a player inside of blue, and they're going to start applying pressure onto the site itself. Castle gets one, which is going to slow down this push for the time being, but we need to see the other players from Dead Inside rotate back. Ella is in sight as well, and Skitty gets one. Emission goes down, Nico gets one himself, and now we're in a 2 versus 2. Nico gonna get a double at the end. They were both coming in from the doorway. I didn't even realize. And that is going to be Dead Inside now, taking map number 2, game number 2 of the night against LALOOSANCE to progress further in the winners bracket.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the winner for our second match. Dead Inside comes out on top, and to be honest, not really surprising. They had some doubts, they struggled sometimes especially throughout the first, or let's say the second half of this map, the second map, but they did come out on top. And I think especially whenever a mission was fully awake, he was pulling his team, not necessarily kill wise. A lot of his teammates also got high amount of kills, but thanks to all the viewers out there, massive amount of people watching, and I think the games are speaking for themselves. We just have a massive show, massive teams, really big talent involved, and thanks to everyone.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night, everyone.